Hello everyone. Welcome to this panel discussion on Nutrify C-Suite Summit Sumflex 2024. I am Dr. Vikram Munshi, founder and CEO of Whitespace Consulting and Capability Building. Now, typically when we think of AI in my consulting practice, AI is something, what marketing guys do in building brands, launching products. But rarely do we think of AI in terms from ideation to commercialization. So we feel that is not the AI domain of AI. So today's panel discussion is how is AI impacting ideation to commercialization? And I'm blessed to have a very power-packed panel comprising techno-commercial people across the industry, and I'm looking forward to a very good discussion with each one of you on this panel. So let me start with a very quick intro. Friends, each person sitting on this panel is bringing a wealth of experience. So in fact, if I start to introduce all their accomplishments, we will run out of time. So I will keep it a bit short. On my left, I am blessed to have Dr. Babu. Dr. Babu is currently the head of Himalaya R&D, Himalaya Wellness R&D. He is a phytochemist with more than 25 years of experience. His keen interest area is to interact with academia and students, and he believes that is helping to build a very strong techno-commercial base for the future of India in terms of nutraceuticals. So welcome Dr. Babu, pleased to have you here.
Thank you, Dr. Vikram.
Over here we have Mr. Subba. He is a commercial leader with more than 27 years experience. He is the MD of 3 companies. He is very passionate about making affordable nutritional healthcare products for this country. I think that's a very noble thought, considering the country and making sure the access of good nutraceuticals reach the masses of our country. So it's such a pleasure to have you on this panel. Thank you for being there. Dr. Baidyanath, he is the head of R&D of Dabur India, R&D Healthcare of Dabur India. More than 2 decades of experience. His passion, he's got deep expertise in innovation, patenting, product design. And I mean, one of the key members who can add a lot of value to AI over here. On my right, we have Dr. Narendra, Dr. Narendra Tripathi. He brings more than, 2 decades, 25 years of experience, especially in regulatory. And you'll be keen to know he's currently president of Pharma, looking after regulatory. And he is also part of the NLRP, which is your national level resource person nominated by the FSSAI. He is responsible for training and assessment of regulatory practices in the country. So welcome Dr. Narendra Tripathi.
Thank you.
Wonderful to have you.
Thank you, Dr.
On my right, we have Dr. Nandan Joshi. Dr. Nandan Joshi he's got 17 years of experience. He's worked for multinationals and Indian multinationals like Danone and Dr. Reddy's labs, where he's currently he's the medical affairs lead for nutrition. So as you can see, we have a perfect balance of technos, development, commercialization, and the medical part of it. So thank you all for being over here. It's such a pleasure having you on board. So shall we kickstart the rounds? Okay. Dr. Babu, the first thing, as I said, that AI is associated with marketing, gimmicky and all. We don't look at that. In your experience, how do you feel that AI-powered data analysis has impacted your formulation and innovation strategies?
Yeah, coming to the core of AI, today AI is a must-have for the industry. As we all know that AI is every walk of our life. Okay. As a head of R&D, I always look forward when we developing the formulations. The major challenges for developing the nutraceutical formulations is the speed to market, the cost, the regulatory. So these are some of those challenges that conventionally we face when we are developing these products. So in a routine way, when we develop the products, it may take 6 to 8 months to explore what is the knowledge that is available about ingredients, what is the regulatory globally, and what is the cost factor. So during this process, what really happens is once we develop particular formulation or a design, at the end of the day of 3 months or 6 months, we come to know that there is some more trending is happening. So we have to meet the global trend because we want to be the speed to the market. At the same time, we want to be the first into the market. So we were looking different platforms. As we know that AI is the one which can, give us the faster compilation of the available literature. But I believe the most important of AI is to have a qualified professionals who compile the data that is required to build the database. There is a lot of information is available today in the literature, but you should also have a qualified professionals, how the literature is taken from the publicly available domain, how you filter it, how you connect, as I said, the three parts of that, the formulation development. When I was working with the AIs, I come across with Nutrify Genie. The first thing that when I was working it, the fascinating is if I want to develop a particular product, there are hundreds of ingredients available in the literature today. So I want to take the ingredients that are safe and efficacious. At the same time, I have a challenge of connecting those to the suppliers who can, supply those ingredients in a time in the required quantities. So when we working on the Nutrify Genie, what I come across is they have been, thoroughly validated the safety and efficacy of those ingredients, and the most importantly, the safety of those ingredients. Okay, and not only in the Indian markets but at different regulations across the globe. So as we are present in more than 100 countries, it is very important for us when we design a product, it should meet globally. Okay. So we need not to reinvent the wheel again and again. So therefore, this platform, when I was exploring this platform, this was very useful. The first thing is that I can get immediately the available ingredients information, and also there is a option of putting those probable formulations. How when I am putting into so many ingredients, so what would be the synergy of those ingredients, and what would be the formulation that give us, with the expected, this one, the benefit. Most importantly, when we are talking about innovation, today nutraceutical is nothing less than FMCG, right? So industry is looking forward to the ingredients that are globally available, and every company is coming out with a lot of, innovations. So most importantly, this particular platform, which is updated as frequent as possible as the new information is coming up, this is much more helpful for us to explore what are the new ingredients coming, not only in India, globally. Okay, some trending is happening in US and Europe, but we would like to explore those ingredients and put it into our formulations. And apart from ingredients, it is the formulations or the dosage forms, prototypes. As we said earlier years, it was only the conventional forms of tablets or capsules. Right. But today, most of the consumers going away from the conventional dosage forms. People want to have, the dosage forms that are very much associated with diet or, food ingredients. Therefore, this will really help us, such kind of platforms. So what are those ingredients that are suitable for, the alternative dosage forms, like it can be shots, it can be gummies, it can be powders. So I think overall, if I have to summarize, AI is a must for industry, nutraceutical industry, but I found Nutrigenie is one of such platform where it is really going to help us, innovation, strategies, and also the formulation concept. So as I said, it may take 6 to 8 months, but using this kind of platform, the time required to finalize the formulation, it will be much lesser, I can say 1 week or 2 weeks time. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Babu. I think as a commercial person, what I take from this, you mentioned a very important point.
Okay.
Especially in nutraceuticals, you talked about the correlation with FMCG. So where there are fast trends which are coming. And if we take a lot of time in developing, sometimes we miss the trends which are there.
Exactly.
And I think the other point which you mentioned, which is on the reliability of ingredients, becomes very critical in the interaction with them. So wonderful. Thank you for that point, and I'm glad to hear your personal experience of using AI. I'll come straight to the commercial part of it. So, Mr. Subba, for you run multiple businesses. You are a CMO yourself. So let's go back to before AI was there. Before AI was used, how you used to get the leads for prototype development, and how do you feel like AI has changed the process?
like in before or the present, the AI which is being improving or it is being going through and everyone started using now.
Right.
But before that, before I have to tell about the AI, like before AI, where we had been using or where we had been connecting with the companies to get the leads or to get the prototypes to be manufactured from them.
Right.
First, we have to send a people, a technical guys,
Yes, yes.
and with the technical guys, we have to send them the commercial guys too. And where they go to the companies, they pitch the companies, and sometimes they may not be understanding. Then they have to come back. They have to talk to the R&D, again go back and then discuss
So
to them, and a lot of back and forth. And it is like to get to one company to get a prototype or to get a decision making, it takes about 6 to 8 months, or may sometimes even a year, because their side, the team may not be there sometimes.
Right.
My team may not be ready to go there and explain the things like. But now the platforms have come up, and it is again the change of manpower. Like we teach one people, and they may be going off, and we have to again teach the capabilities of our company. We have to teach to the people again, where sometimes they may gain that knowledge, or sometimes they may not be able to understand it. And it was not so easy. But now, as an AI, the platform has come up, where you can teach or you can you can give the database like what is your capabilities, what all you can do, and it is very easy for that particular platform to understand. Or we can make it a database such a way that opposite person, what he requires, the questions can be compiled and the answers can be given into the platform easily. Like say presently we have started with Nutrify Genie, where we had explained it like what all capabilities we have, what dosage forms we can do. So when a company comes to the platform and find that, okay, if they want to develop a product, then they can search that, okay, I want to do a soft gel. The first question, okay, so then maybe our company may be coming front, or it may be in the top 10 or something, depends upon the data which the platform is having again. So then the next question they ask, in this soft gel, they may ask, okay, chewable soft gel do you have?
Okay.
Do you have entry coated soft gel?
Right.
Okay, at that time it gives some answers again back. So then the consumer may or the user may think that, okay, inside deep, can we go and check that, do this company have this capability? Again they can ask, okay, in soft gel do you have entry coated?
Right.
So if you can teach to the platform that these are our capabilities, the persons who is coming onto the platform, it is easy for them to understand, and the data which come up will be very easy. And reliable, because it has been thought by the company by itself. It is not somewhere it is collecting, or whichever has been published by the companies on the different platforms, the AI collects it and then put forth to the requirement for the people. So the first platform which we had seen for the nutraceuticals exclusively, that was a Nutrigenie.
Correct.
Where there is other platform, but where it may be a wandering of every other things, but Nutrigenie only for the nutraceuticals, that was one which we found, and we have got 1-2 clients through that.
Right. And with a very interesting point you made, Mr. Subba, I mean, I understand this, what you mentioned about attrition. When people come and they leave these high-touch industry, a lot of knowledge goes away.
Yeah.
And as you very rightly said, retraining people, and then
it's very difficult.
You lose time in that.
Yeah.
I think that's a very, very important point which you mentioned, that people can come on board at a very quicker, and they can continue from where it is left. So wonderful. Thank you for sharing your view. Coming to you, Dr. Baidyanath. So typically, I'll be going out on a limb over here. Typically, what I have seen, between R&D and medical affairs is a bit of sometimes silos, which happens.
Yes.
Most of the organizations it happens. So do you really believe that AI platforms can actually facilitate the collaboration between R&D and medical affairs? If yes, then how?
Yes, thank you for nice and good question. And right question you asked, many nutraceutical companies or the pharma companies having the wing to expand for the nutraceutical, or any FMCG company, they are willing to make a diversify on the nutraceutical. Many people feel that adding XYZ ingredient which are available in it, or they can go and buy certain product from the CMOs who are manufacturing the product, does not meet the requirement, which is presently everybody we can see in all these online platforms. Many such products are available which the credentials are not been established, whatever we call basically linking to the R&D development to the fact of the medical affairs. Right. And we all know the medical affairs is a third pillar of a success for the business development. Like the medical affairs deals with a lot of documentation, starting from the literature searches, how does it work, what the dynamic it goes for that, what is whether I have an ingredient which is biosimilar to that I can utilize, or this particularly plant molecule or this particular VMS I am able to add this product contains, how does it work, how I can understand that what is my efficacy dose, how I can know what is my dose is safe to me, how I can understand this is good for the woman of a pregnancy or going to pregnancy or lactation or menopausal. That is very difficult to understand by sitting in the one room. So artificial intelligence is one of the platform which the medical practitioners usually able to adapt it. This particularly provides lot of data, like any single ingredient. Suppose we say like hesperidine, one ingredient which is used by lot of sports nutrition people for a muscle generation and also giving an activity for the sports activities, I can say for that. But if I click hesperidine, if I go to Google, I can have a lot of data, but many data are not reliable. But when I met Mr. Amit, my colleague, long years back, and then when that time he was starting the Nutrify, and we are discussing together how to make it happen. The data, whatever he has kept it for a medical advisors, or I can say medical affairs, is enormous. Because what happens, from that we understand that how, suppose hesperidine, which country it is approved as a sports nutrition, which country is not allowed as a nutraceutical or sports nutrition or sports medicine, which country how much dosage is to be given, and what are the drug interaction, because basically for the nutraceutical always we have to understand what is my drug interaction. Like yesterday in Delhi we are having an conferences particularly to understand whether this particularly ingredient, which is very simple, gallic acid, is it having interaction with the people who are taking the product for the iron substitutes or iron. So then we are having a hot debate of discussion in the different premium medical institute. People came and we are debating on that. Ki gallic acid, plain simple gallic, when we people say okay take 20 gram, 30 gram of amla, this content, that content, no. But gallic acid has a negative impact on the iron observation also, which we found in an AI platform, which some other country are mentioning negative, and a lot of debates has happened, which we people are not knowing because it has not reached to us data.
Right.
So medical affairs and R&D, whenever we require, AI creates a good platform because that helps us to understand what is my simulation, what is my secretion, how much time is shelf life, whether how much dose I have to take, what is my safety profile, what are the efficacy studies taken, because it's very difficult to take all nutraceutical into clinical, because it's not easy to have the clinical like a medicine. So AI platform, a Nutrigeny, which I have seen enormous in my facility, Amit has visited, and we have understood, and it is enormous for medical practitioners or I can say medical affairs, very much required. Another point I need to add, like one called is a labeling, like my product should contain labeling. So labeling contains claim substantiation. So that is most critical, and everybody fights. Marketing says this claim I need, R&D said this claim you cannot make. Medical affairs say that this, if you give that much studies you have to take it. So here the AI makes a good platform because that can scroll down when you ask in the primary command, like this is what require. Automatically secondary command says this is the claim you can do. They can design the labeling requiring to the country wise. Enormous platform supporting for the medical affairs.
That's very interesting. So that itself is cutting down a lot of back and forth and friction between the two departments. That if marketing, and coming from a marketing background, you normally put pressure, okay, I want this thing, and then there is back and forth, and then there is this. So if the platform, any AI platform can actually help there, not only saying, as you very rightly said, Dr. Baidyanath, not only saying this is not what you can do, but this is what you can do.
Yes.
I think that's a very, very important
Yes.
thing which is coming, which come out.
Can
Thank you.
I add
Yes,
the
please,
point on
absolutely.
that? Like what Dr. Mishra told about this, but typically what happens in industry when R&D professional design a product,
Right.
okay, they are more responsible about the product, and obviously they also know that what is the end product, what is that, the medical benefit or
Right.
the benefit that we are going to give. At the same time, other side, the medical FIs will have a different kinds of questions, like you said, whether it is a drug interaction or it's bioavailability, right? But always, in the conventional setup, what happens, the information that given by R&D professionals is taken by the medical professionals, because ultimately they need that knowledge to convert into a clinical solution.
Absolutely.
But when they use AI at both, okay, the passive learning that what there conventionally is happening, the medical FIs team also will be active learning. When both the teams are using the AI platform, I think probably that is more convincing come about the product development, what R&D does and what medical FIs has to understand, and then finally how it comes to on the label.
Correct.
And what's the regulation.
Wonderful.
I think
Wonderful. Thanks for that valid point.
Yeah.
Now, when you talked about labeling and everything, I would like to go to Dr. Narendra Tripathi also here. So, you are a regulatory and labeling expert, right? And I would want to ask you that, in your opinion, in your practice, how is AI streamlined regulatory compliance? How has it accelerated your time to market for your product packs, especially when you're talking about product labeling? So if you can throw some light.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Munshi. Definitely, AI is playing basically very significant role. If you're talking about the AI, definitely we remember the person who basically laid down the terminology basically in 1957, John McCarthy, and he introduced the terminologies, and it was comes in the existence in the fourth industrial revolutions. Coming to the topic, basically AI it provides a lot of the data, either in the form of the ingredients or in the form of the clinical data, scientific data, in the form of the we can say data for the efficacy, data for the clinical trial data, and even though for the supply chain. And keeping those in mind, if we have the correlation between the manual work and others, I'm not discussing basically.
No, absolutely, absolutely, understand
that. Like the manually we were checking and it was taking 7-8 days and other time. Since it becomes why it becomes essential for us. It becomes essential for us because we are the industry is going faster. We are living in a very competitive era. Like being a contract manufacturing, I have been associated with last decade plus. So it becomes very challenging, as mentioned by Mr. Subba. Definitely, we need to always have a target timeline. Target timeline, this required one within 30 days, 45 days, and 60 days is paying out time. And at that moment, if there are the too many, to and fro along with the checking it, developing of the manual, the artwork, then it will go with the, it will go to the client, then it will go to the, and what happens finally? After 30 days, we could not be able to make a, like unanimous decision to have a single platform. Like pertaining to the claim, I want to this one, since it is going to have a marketing strategy for us, we cannot remove it. But AI is the tool who is providing a very, crisp, substantial and the required data, and which is neutral in nature. Neutral in nature, and it is not basically, and it is compliance based, and which is restricting the scope of the non-compliance of your product when you are going to sell in the market, and that is the basically providing a safeguard to the company, to the industry. And in the difference of, if you take, there are the number of the companies those are providing the services in globally as well as with India. But at the level of, if you see the India, the local to global platform, we found that Nutrify is the basically very robust pattern, and it is interacting like it has a 10,000 plus ingredient details
Okay.
Which helping us, selecting of the ingredient and the scientific data, 1 million scientific data and clinical data. If we go with that, details, why I am telling with that, since I have been associated during some tasks like categorization of the licensing and the leveling. Based on that experience, I have that experience. 1.2 million data for the clinical study of that ingredients.
That's huge.
That is the huge data. And we still, if the people or the industry is getting the something restrictions, suppose we want to design this product, but we do not have the supplier. So whatever there is the supply chain also 28,000 suppliers.
Wow.
And apart of that, living with that, it has helped presently 500 business houses basically in India with the waste of within the 2.5 years. So it is coping up with the global competitors, and it is becoming, we can say, as the PM says always, the local to global, and definitely we have to vocal for this. Our Indian assets for the Nutrigeni at the global.
Wonderfully said.
And what happens? It saves a lot of time. There is 1 day of maximum to have the prototype. You have the design, you have the conceptualization.
How many days are you talking about?
1 to 2 days.
That's it.
That's it. And you can select the formulation, and your recipe will be recited, and next day you can start your experiment and data, and you can prepare your product for that.
So this 1 to 2 days, what you talked about, Dr. Narendra, without AI would be how many days?
Without AI, it would be, I think that it will be with 15 to 30 days. 30
oh my
days
God. Okay.
There is a reduction.
Okay.
And even if the person is expert, like the addition, we have to prepare a formulation of having these ingredients that they have to select, like in which category, use the Nutrify journey, you will find that your nutraceutical formulation, whatever the possible ingredient, they will be listed in your account. You can set your doses form with respect to your RDA limit, and it would be ready for your physical trial. It would be ready
wonderful.
for your trial for the pilot product.
Thank you so much.
Your team is, like sometimes what happens, R&D people remains stuck up. No, we will not do it. This is because since it is coming to the regulatory, it varies from organization to organization. Then it will be shifted to next 7 days or 4 days. So it is helping us to industry to cope up with the the growth of the new customer.
Great. Thank you so much, Dr. Narendra, for telling that. Now coming to Dr. Nandan, who medical affairs expert, a clinical doctor. So typically what happens when we are talking about current portfolio and all that, in your experience, can actually AI powered tools help identify underserved therapeutic areas or markets? Is it possible? If yes, then what would be the benefits?
Yeah, so I think in a known therapy area or in a known disease condition, for example, calcium, vitamin D and bone, right? I mean, it's a clear established relationship, there's years of evidence, you know the pathway, the biochemical, how it works exactly. But when it comes to new area, and especially when we get introduced as a marketeer or as a seller of a final launch product, we are not into ingredients and everything. Most of our exposure to this world is from the ingredient companies, and they pitch to us a lot of different products in new therapy areas.
Right.
For example, sleep, for example, men's health.
Yes.
And most of them come with a very beautiful rational and 1 or 2 clinical evidences. But that's not enough for us to understand. Is this therapy area really interesting? We need to have the complete understanding of that particular therapy area. So that is where I think AI can play a great role, and we have already leveraged also AI for the same purpose, is to help us first understand, for example, sleep. Okay, so sleep is very complex.
Yes.
There are different pathways of sleep.
Yes.
Different neurotransmitters which are involved. Different stages of sleep. So which sleep we are trying to address.
Right.
That's number one. Second, there is a current role pharma is playing. So what are the limitations with pharma which nutraceutical can fill to address the sleep? If yes, what are those molecules or nutra combinations, single ingredient, combination ingredients? Right. What is the evidence?
Right.
And is it, and then comes, okay, if somebody has given me a portfolio of 3 or 4 products on sleep, I want to evaluate the global landscape. Is it a differentiated product or not? So we have leveraged Nutrify Genie to understand to evaluate both the therapy space as well as whatever portfolios are being pitched to us by the external suppliers in terms of how these products are they really differentiated, are these clinicals really validated, even the grade of scientific evidence. So there is a standard way to grade the evidence. So the basic is what you can say is a literature review, and at the top is the review and meta-analysis of let's say 50 clinical trials or more than that. So what kind of evidence is it? So all of that information is available to you, which makes you informed choices, of course in a much lesser amount of time, and of course you need your own then interpretation of it as well, but it does help you reach certain levels. So I think we have leveraged Nutrify Genie, and I just want to add, because I think most of you have used the tool, we have also used the services. So Nutrify Genie, we have given them this project of exploring certain spaces. And we wanted little ready-made answers because we ourselves were also time crunch. So the team has helped us, their expert team has helped us with the few final answers that we can go through and further elaborate upon. So it's not only the tool but also the services that are being offered. Yeah.
Wonderful. I'm actually loving this discussion, because I'm getting a perspective, and I think what makes this panel very different is that you are bringing your insights and expertise, but also the fact that you have been practitioners, you adopted this technology. Otherwise, typically what happens is people talk about a lot of things who have not used it, So I don't know how are we placed for time. So maybe just a few quick ones, and I'm leaving it open to everyone, because you've given us so much of food for thought. See, my first question is that when we are talking about, that the goal that we want to make the nutraceutical industry a $100 billion industry by 2047, can AI play a role in that? I mean, one or two, if you can, whoever wants to chip in and answer that, can it actually play a role in that? Then comes my second question, which I will keep after this. So I'll open this to anyone. Maybe
a lot. Obviously, the major thing is the data, the knowledge. One, the knowledge with the people, and there are several millions of people who is having the knowledge, but that knowledge to get to one person, it is very difficult. So which, if that is there, and all the knowledge, almost today it is available on the internet, you can Google it, but the thing is like, who is telling correct?
The reliability
of the data. So when you go to the AI, it can study and it can give you a data which is reliable, because it will prove that yes, the particular board which has been told with a proof.
Wonderful.
So when you work there, so what you can get the things like maybe in R&D, or when you are creating ideation, or when you want to do. In everyday's life today, the AI is being used.
Wonderful.
I say, my people come and say that, sir, if AI comes, then what will be our job? It will be very most better.
How did you guess I was going to ask this question?
Because I said, I teach my team, everyone, that you have to learn AI, and you have to use it AI in every day, in every aspect.
On that note, everybody who's watching this, you see the experts sitting over here, they are saying they are endorsing AI. They are practicing AI, and they have not lost their jobs, and the team has not lost their jobs. So please adopt AI.
They will become more better.
More better on that.
If they don't learn, then tomorrow they will be going out.
And in fact, oh my God. See, you don't want a PhD in nutrition looking at the database and trying a different keywords to find the literature, right? You want the PhD in nutrition to review whatever AI has given and make an informed judgment based on that.
Okay, I think we are very, very hard pressed for time. So we've been telling for that. So I think we'll continue this discussion later, but I can't tell you that how much I've learned from your expertise. Thank you so much for being a part of the panel. I take two very important take homes, that yes, if reliable knowledge is present, it can cut down your development time. If it cuts down development time, it can make products more affordable, right? And definitely don't fear AI. If these industry stalwarts have embraced AI, what is stopping you all? Thank you so much everyone for being on this panel. I wish I could continue this for at least 1.5 hours more, but we will have to cut short. Thank you so much for your time. Pleasure having you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.